tried selling the soft drink that soon took America by storm. Root beer. Charlie's full name? Charles Hires. Hires root beer is still a foamy favorite. And millions of customers, well,
I've really never heard of it, but
with the
Hires
success
root beer?
is it Byers with a B?
H-E-R-S.
No,
You've never heard of Hires root beer?
That one, no. I've heard of like
Okay.
the one with the dog.
I have a
Great.
job for myself. I gotta buy you a Hires root beer.
Yeah, I've
Lord
heard of.
knows I can't remember my own name half the time, so I might.
I've had
That is
a.
my job over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I've had A&W. I've had the Berg's one, the one with the dog.
Oh, there's bars, yeah.
Yeah,
But there's Hires.
I've never heard about that one. Yeah.
Thanks to Skyrizi,
All right.
there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything.
Good. All right. We're live.
Your doctor
Good.
at Skyrizi,
So-
the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Okay. 305. There we go.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
Okay. I'm going to get 234 going.
It's time for Middleboro Matters.
Okay.
WVBF
Got that
1530 AM and
That
99
there.
FM. Hosted by
Looks
Joey
good.
Driscoll.
Perfect.
Call in.
Live.
908.
Live, yeah.
Now, here is Joey Driscoll with Middleboro Matters.
And good morning and welcome to Middleboro Matters. I am Joey Driscoll. Today is the 24th of November, 2025. And today is Monday. Open phone lines today, 508-822-1106 is the number to call. If you want to call in, talk about what is on your mind this morning, or what your plans are for Thanksgiving, whether you're going to the football game for Taunton or Bristol Plymouth as well, or if you're going to a family member's house for Thanksgiving, or just staying home for Thanksgiving. I know that there will be a ton of football being played on Thanksgiving, not just high school, but I believe college as well. I believe there's one game at least. I'm not sure if they still play it on Thanksgiving. I think they do. And plenty of football in the NFL as well to watch on Thanksgiving. So we'll be breaking that down today. The high school football games, the college football games, and the NFL football games for Thanksgiving. We're gonna pretty much start with that actually. But open phone lines today, 508-822-1106 if you want to call in and talk about what is on your mind this morning. So let's start off by going into the NFL and doing that first. So, Thanksgiving Day is part of week number 13 in the NFL season. So we have that going on there. We're getting pretty close to the end of the season, by the way, as well. So we've got a couple more games left, and then the playoffs begin. There's gonna be some surprises this year, I think, with the playoffs. And I think it's going to take a couple of more weeks for that to be fleshed out completely. But I think there might be some surprises, some teams that you might not expect missing the playoffs, and then there's some teams that you might not expect making it into the playoffs. So that's going to be interesting as well. But Thursday night, we'll get to the Thursday night game in a minute. But there are 3 games on Thanksgiving. There usually is 30 games on Thanksgiving. The first one is the 1 o'clock game, and that is the Packers taking on the Lions. And they'll be in Detroit for this game, 1 o'clock on Fox. Both teams are really have a great record. So this game is going to be a very entertaining and fun game to watch for sure. The next game after that, another game that I think is going to be pretty entertaining, is the Chiefs and the Cowboys on CBS. It's a 4:30 p.m. game. And then the Thursday night football game on NBC and Peacock. The Bengals coming off a loss, but played well against us, but they are coming off a loss, 26-20 against the Patriots. They take on the Ravens, who are red hot since Lamar Jackson came back, which a lot of people expected. Lamar Jackson is kind of picking up where he left off before his injury, and the Ravens are a team to watch when it comes to the playoffs. I think they will make the playoffs, and they're going to be a team to watch. I think the Ravens will easily win this one on Thursday night. But that's at 8:20 p.m. start on NBC and Peacock as well if you want to watch it on your computer or on the go on Peacock. If you have Peacock, you can watch it there as well. There will also be a Friday game as well, a Black Friday game for the NFL as well. That is the Bears taking on the Eagles. That is going to be a massive matchup. Both teams are 8-3. This will be on Amazon Prime. But, if you don't want to, pay for Amazon Prime, you could always either, check out the radio broadcasts for either team. Whichever your favorite team is out of those 2 teams, check out the radio broadcasts instead if you don't want to pay for Amazon Prime. But both teams are going to be 8-3. They're 8-3 going into this game. The Eagles are coming off a loss, a pretty unnecessary loss to the Cowboys. Just going to say that. An unnecessary loss. Just going to say that and leave it at that. The Eagles will be looking to go to 9-3 on the year, and the Bears looking to also go to 9-3 on the year. 3 p.m. start, which is that's a weird start time for an NFL game, but a 3 p.m. start for that game. And then you have your normal Sunday games. The Patriots will be back home on Monday night. They will not be playing on Sunday. They'll be playing on Monday night on ESPN. They'll take on the Giants, who are 2-10. It should be an easy game for the Patriots. If we lose, then that is a huge issue. But I don't expect us to lose. The Giants will most likely lose this game to us, and we'll go to 11-2 on the year. Get ready for our bye week, and then we take on the Buffalo Bills at home on December the 14th. So that's going to be a major, major game. As I mentioned earlier, I do feel a little bit better about that game than I did a couple of weeks ago. The Bills are seeming to have some struggles. They take on the Steelers this weekend as well on Sunday in Pittsburgh. So that is not going to be an easy game for the Bills if Aaron Rodgers plays. If he doesn't play, then the Bills are probably going to win that game. I'm just going to say that right now. They're probably going to win that game. But if Aaron Rodgers plays, which is a possibility, there was rumblings that he would play against Chicago. He did not. As I take a sip of my iced coffee, there we go. He did not play against Chicago, but there are rumblings that he will probably play eventually, and I think he'll play if he can get cleared, I think he'll play against the Buffalo Bills, and then that will be a very difficult game, I think, for the Bills, because Steelers are going to be fighting very hard in this game to keep themselves in a playoff position, and so that's going to be a very tough one. And then after that, during the bye week, I think the Bills play another game as well during the bye week. Yes, they take on the Bengals. So that'll be an easy game. So most likely either they'll be 9-4 going into the game with us, or they're going to be 8-5. So we'll see what happens with that when they come to Gillette on December the 14th. So there's your NFL Thanksgiving and a little bit past that breakdown. Now we go to the college football scene. And for this week, there is going to be one game on Thanksgiving, and it's not going to be the game I was thinking. It's going to be Navy versus Memphis on Thanksgiving. Navy is 8-2. Memphis is 8-3. That's going to be a very entertaining Thanksgiving football game on for college football this year. The Egg Bowl is the game that I was thinking, and that's Ole Miss and Mississippi State. That's on Friday. That'll be on Friday, along with several other games on Friday. So we'll break that down in a second. But UMass will have their season end, mercifully. There we go. It will mercifully end for them when they take on Bowling Green and they go to 0-12. That is a horrible year for UMass. They'll be lucky. They'll be happy when it's done. There needs to be some massive changes with UMass, with a lot of things. Going 0-12 is not fun at all when you're a college football team. They are easily the worst team in FBS. I don't think it's relatively close when it comes to who the worst is. They might even be the worst in all of college football, if you really think about it. Maybe there's a couple of teams out there that are worse than UMass, maybe in Division 2 or 3, but there aren't many. UMass has had a particularly bad year. Hopefully next year will be better for them. But Bowling Green most likely will go to 4-8 tomorrow when they take on UMass. 4:30 p.m. start there. West and East Michigan face off against each other as well on Tuesday tomorrow as well. Thursday we mentioned a Thursday game. Friday we mentioned the Egg Bowl. Number 12 Utah will be taking on Kansas as well. All these games are a lot of these games are at 12 o'clock on Friday, so there'll be some 12 o'clock noon games on Friday. Iowa takes on Nebraska. Ohio takes on Buffalo. Kent State versus Northern Illinois. Air Force takes on Colorado State. Georgia, number 4, Georgia takes on Georgia Tech. That's going to be a huge matchup there for those two teams. Temple takes on North Texas. Boise State versus Utah State. Indiana takes on Purdue. I think this is rivalry week. I think this is that's what this is. It's rivalry week. A lot of these teams are rivals. Indiana and Purdue are rivals. Indiana will have no problem with Purdue. If Purdue somehow beats Indiana, take them off of the college football playoffs immediately. Unrank them immediately if they lose to Purdue. They will not lose to Purdue. They won't. It's just like a 0.5% chance of that happening. But, if it does happen, that's it. That's it for Indiana. They're done. But continuing here, Texas A&M takes on Texas. Arizona State. They take on Arizona. And Arizona State's just holding on to a top 25 ranking at this point. I think, eventually they'll lose this top 25 ranking. But, they're hanging on. They're hanging on to that. And then Saturday, some of the big games as well on Saturday are as follows. Number 1, Ohio State takes on Michigan. They will be in, it looks like Michigan for this game this year. Will Ann Arbor be graced with the presence of Vice President J.D. Vance and get booed out of the building because it's Michigan? We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. But that'll be interesting to watch when it comes to who will show up at the Michigan-Ohio State game, because you never know. Again, our vice president is an Ohio State fan. So, if he shows up at Ann Arbor, people will boo him because, again, he's an Ohio State fan, and it's Michigan. And this game is going to be a very interesting one. Probably the toughest game this year for Ohio State. And it's the last game of the year for Ohio State. They're undefeated. I don't know who will win this game. It's going to be a very close one, though. I'll just say it's going to be very close. I don't know who's going to win. And we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. I won't be surprised if either team wins when it comes to who ends up winning, because both teams are good. Both teams are good. If Ohio State loses, they go to 11-1 on the year. I won't be surprised because it's against Michigan. But if Michigan loses, they go to 9-3. Again, that's not surprising because Ohio State has been a powerhouse this year. All right, Texas Tech takes on West Virginia. Miami takes on Pittsburgh. Houston takes on Baylor. Kentucky and Louisville. Clemson, South Carolina. Colorado versus Kansas State. Iowa State versus Oklahoma State. East Carolina and Florida Atlantic. And then you get some of these other games that I really don't care about. UCF versus BYU. BYU is ranked 11th. Kind of moving on here a little bit. Syracuse takes on Boston College. Boston College, another team that has just had a horrendously bad season. I don't get it. They will drop to 1-11, most likely. Syracuse will look to end their year strong. I think they will. They'll go to 4-8 on the year. They'll finish the year 4-8. And Boston College will have to be looking. I don't know if they should be looking at a coach change. I mean, this is tough for Boston College because it really hasn't gotten better for Boston College under Bill O'Brien. So could this be his final year? We'll see. I don't know. Maybe there might be one more year for Bill O'Brien to get the team back to where they need to be, but I don't know. And see some other games in here. Oregon takes on Washington. Oklahoma takes on LSU. Vanderbilt will take on Tennessee. Missouri versus Kansas. Penn State versus Rutgers. And Penn State will be happy when the season is over. What a disappointing season for Penn State. A lot of people were talking about Penn State at the beginning of the year as a team that would be doing very, very well. And that changed pretty quickly for Penn State. So they'll be looking to kind of, end this season on the right note with a 6-6 record. We'll see what happens in that one. Wake Forest takes on Duke. Cincinnati, they take on TCU. USC takes on UCLA. Florida State takes on Florida. and there's a ton here still here to go. Virginia Tech takes on Virginia. Maryland takes on Michigan State. Rice in South Florida. Alabama versus Auburn. The Iron Bowl happens because, again, rivalry week. Alabama. I think Alabama will win. Yeah, Alabama will win, and Ron will be happy I'm saying that. Ron's giving me a thumbs up. Yeah, Alabama will win. Yeah, I think so. That's going to be a game that Alabama, they need to win that anyway. They need to win that anyway to end the season off on the right note and make the college football playoff as well. Illinois takes on Northwestern. Tulane, who is barely also ranked. They'll probably continue to be ranked after this game. They take on Charlotte, one of the worst teams in FBS. North Carolina, they will look to end the year 5-7. I doubt it because it's NC State, another one of their rivals, and NC State is, I think, better than North Carolina. So I think North Carolina will end the year 4-8, and that's not going to be a good result there for Bill Belichick in his first year as a college head coach. But there's really nothing you can do there. He's kind of walked into a situation where the Tar Heels are not a powerhouse. Tar Heels were not a powerhouse coming into this year. You walked into that, and it's going to take some time for North Carolina to become a powerhouse under Bill Belichick. I mean, if that ever happens at all, we'll see. Because this year was bad, really bad, and there were a lot of off the field stuff too that I think distracted from North Carolina's season. Anyway, a couple more games here to go through. UNLV, they take on Nevada. Notre Dame takes on Stanford. I think Notre Dame will finish the year 10-2. And they were very good. They've been very good this year. You had a couple of hiccups with Notre Dame where I thought they were going to fall in the rankings. However, they didn't, and they kept going, and they're going to finish the year strong at 10-2. Fresno State takes on San Jose State. And finally, the late 11 o'clock game on Saturday night, Wyoming takes on Hawaii at Hawaii. That should be an easy game for Hawaii. All right. That'll do it for college football, and that'll do it for the first half of the program. It's 11:30. We're gonna take a quick news break and a quick commercial break as well, and we'll be right back here on WVBF 1530 AM. This is Middleboro Matters. I am Joey Driscoll. Open phone lines today, 508-822-1106. We will be right back.
Yep. I got a note from the guy who's supposed to interview and said he didn't connect through.
Really?
Breaking news.
So we're having issues with phones.
Ahmed Thomas.
We'll give it a test after you show
The
you.
U.S.
Okay.
and China say that Presidents Trump and Xi were on the phone
That
today.
sucks.
They talked about trade as well as Taiwan and Ukraine. Top U.S. and Ukrainian officials have reported substantial
How'd you like my little commentary about Ohio State, Michigan?
Officials discussed an American proposal for
Loved it,
peace,
loved
which
it.
some European allies fear.
If he shows up at Ann Arbor, he's going to get booed.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio described the talks as productive.
Trump's not
He
gonna
shared
probably
few
go.
details, though he
Oh,
said
no.
any
But
final agreement
J.D.
would be
Vance probably
Russia's
will go.
approval.
And he'll get
I think so.
booed.
President
And he'll
Trump
get
was on
booed.
social media. Ukraine's leaders
He'll get
were not
booed.
grateful for U.S. military assistance. Ray Cluxton, Washington. Israel is
And it's not going to be because he's a bad vice president. It's going to be because he's an Ohio State fan.
Chief of Staff, warning the Iran-backed terrorist group not to rebuild, rearm.
Is what I imagine.
303 school kids abducted from a Catholic school in Nigeria have escaped. They're now back with their families. 50 youngsters between the ages
He'd probably
of 10 and
be
18
the only
attended
Ohio
the
State
school
fan in that
Friday
whole
and Saturday.
stadium.
Total of 253
If he goes.
school children and 12 teachers
There'd be a
are
sea of
still
blue.
missing after gunmen attacked the Catholic school last
Be
week.
hilarious.
So many predictions regarding the outcome
Anyway.
of this year's midterm elections. How will the Democrats fare? How will the Republicans do? The way House Majority Whip Tom Emmer figures it, Republicans are in a good position.
We only have 3 of our members in seats that Kamala Harris won. And by comparison, our colleagues on the other side of the aisle have 11 of their members. This is without redistricting. They have 11 of their members in seats that Donald Trump won in the last election.
The Minnesota Republican on the Salem Radio Network. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 263 points.
Okay, I gotta get the high school
NASDAQ
football up
442 points higher, and the S&P is better by 79. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-513-2326. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-513-2326. Lou will make sure to
Okay.
change it in your favor. Call
Do not answer it. Got it.
800-513-2326. Big Lou will answer your call and work to
Oh,
fit you
all
into a
the
term
things?
life
Just wanna
policy
see where
that
it
you can
goes.
afford. Remember,
And then
Big
we'll-
Lou's
we'll
like
test
you.
it.
He's on meds too. Call
After the show.
800-513-2326 or biglou.com.
British doctors report progress in the case of a 3-year-old California boy. His treatment with a groundbreaking gene therapy began a year ago, targeting a debilitating disease called
Is it
Hunter's
like
syndrome.
Before the treatment,
Yes, it is.
the toddler was unable to produce an enzyme crucial for keeping cells
Is it
healthy
is
it
to a
ringing?
faulty
Okay.
gene. In the most
So
severe
what we'll
cases
do
of Hunter syndrome,
is at
patients
noon,
often don't survive
Once you're off and
beyond
when
the
we
age
have the
of
network
20.
on, we'll test
But in
it.
a world first,
Okay.
cells
To make
were
sure someone
removed
can get
from
this.
Oliver's blood and a working copy of the faulty gene was inserted before the modified cells were given back to him. He's now producing the missing enzyme and has stopped all other treatment.
The BBC's Fergus Walsh. The death toll and widespread flooding caused by heavy rains in Southeast Asia has increased, with another person killed in Vietnam.
All right, I think I'll talk
and
about
5 deaths in Thailand.
with Thanksgiving football. I think I will talk about Wednesday and
At least
Thursday
5 families say their babies
for the high
were treated
schools.
for infant
Okay.
botulism
because
after
there are
consuming
some games that will be on
formula months
Wednesday
before
as
the current
well,
outbreak was detected.
like
More than
Taunton,
30
so.
babies have been treated for the rare
Yes, it's several,
life-threatening disease.
actually,
The
that I
outbreak that
recognize.
started in August.
Yeah.
By heart recall.
So the
all
egg
of
the
its
egg bowl
nationwide.
is on Friday. I thought it was on Thursday.
So did I.
Unless you cut your own, it may come from a place like
It's on
this where
Friday.
that sweet
And as
aroma
you said, the only game
is
that's on the
really
schedule for Thursday is
Especially
maybe
in Pennsylvania.
And that's gonna be really good.
A giant
That's gonna be
Christmas
really
tree
good.
sale. Thousands of trees and other seasonal items have been sold at the Buffalo Valley Produce Auction. Buyers. from
But yeah,
across the Northeast
Hawaii and Wyoming
Atlantic
get the
there to supply their
get the
gardens,
honor of
stores, and
ending
other
the
retail outlets.
college football
The Real
regular
Christmas
season.
Tree Board says it's the scent of trees. It's a major draw for farm-grown
So good for them.
trees. Jason Walker reporting.
More on these stories at Town Hall.
Or is next week, or is the championship weeks next week? Is that regarded as is that regarded as regular season too? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so this is it. This is like
I would say this is the last week. Well, for most of it.
yeah, I think so too. I think this is it.
In a new mailbox, DigSafe will help locate underground pipes and wires on your property and mark them.
Well, no, actually, Army Navy would be the end.
Before you dig.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, yeah, okay.
That's why. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Army Navy is usually the last
A
one.
damaged gas line may create an explosion hazard that could result in loss of service,
All right, that
severe
makes
property damage,
perfect
or worse. Don't take a chance.
Let's
Call
see.
811 before
What's
you dig.
Mo Campbell?
What's going on with the MBTA?
Hi, I'm Chris Keach.
I'll come back to that.
Okay, yeah.
WVBF.
No
My
biggie.
good friend Joey Driscoll has an amazing program.
Well, looks
all
like
about
Will Campbell
Middleboro on
suffered
Sunday mornings from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. It's
Oh,
called
good.
Middleboro
Sprain?
Review.
Yep.
That's
He talks
not
about
that bad.
sports,
At least it's not a tear.
local events in Middleboro,
Okay.
and anything of interest
Here we
in
go.
Middleboro and beyond.
MBTA.
So Join them.
Riders of the MBK's Red Line are facing
Joey
delays
Driscoll,
at several
Sunday
points
morning,
along the
7
heavily
a.m. to
traveled
8 a.m.
subway route.
only here.
The state that trades have been reported. Do you want me to put this out there? Mike?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, hold on.
That's perfectly fine. Yeah. Commercial.
WVVF is your hometown radio station. And one of the things we like to do to support people in your hometown
You put
is
it
to
on
run
these sheets of
community
paper.
announcements.
8. Yeah. Okay. I'll look it up. No big deal. I'll look it up.
No, I was gonna cut it.
Oh,
I
okay.
can cut it to about 2.
Oh, that's fine. All right. Yeah.
You just make sure it prints out okay.
Yeah.
It's safe, it's fast, and allows us to get right back to you if we have a question. Send your community announcements to WVBF1530@hotmail.com. That's WVBF1530@hotmail.com. Thank you for listening. Your hometown radio station is AM 1530 and 99.7 FM.
Okay. Let's see.
Okay,
Thank you.
2 pages.
236. I'll do this story and then I'll go back to my Thanksgiving football. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1, 0. And we're back. I turned down the bumper music. There we go. 508-822-1106 if you want to call in. Talk about whatever's on your mind. Anyway, all right, real quick deviation from the Thanksgiving football. Real quick, we still got the high school football to talk about, and we will in just a couple of minutes. But was just handed this story. There's some issues on the Red Line today. Riders of the MBTA Red Line, they're facing delays at several points along the heavily traveled subway route. Disabled trains have been reported on the Red Line's Braintree branch and the JFK UMass as well. According to the T, delays up to 30 minutes have been reported, with the T warning that trains may stand by at other stations. Riders at North Quincy were told to take Route 210, the Route 210 bus to Fields Corner, where they can transfer to the Ashmont branch for alternate service to downtown. Passengers can also use the commuter rail for alternate service between Braintree and South Station. No immediate word as to what was causing the delays or disabled trains. So there you go. Anyone who's looking to go into Boston today to take the Red Line, maybe find an alternate route to take when it comes, or an alternate mode of transportation to take, because the Red Line's having some issues, big time issues today. So if we have an update over the week, and if I have an update by Friday as to what caused the issues, we'll talk about it on Friday. But there you go. Now we're going to get back to our Thanksgiving football show here on Middleboro Matters for Monday, November 24th, 2025. All right, for Thanksgiving football, and we're going to do Wednesday and Thursday for the games. And maybe Friday as well, but I definitely Wednesday, Thursday, for sure, for Thanksgiving football here in the state of Massachusetts. So the teams that are going to be going and playing on Wednesday are as follows. North takes on South, and I don't know. Okay, so that's Worcester. So the North Polar Bears, I believe that's what they're called there in Worcester, they take on South, and that is the South Colonials of Worcester. So that's North versus South Worcester. That'll be tomorrow at noon. Wednesday at noon. I apologize, not tomorrow at noon. Wednesday at noon. Then they got Worcester Tech taking on AKF HS, and AKF HS is also out of Worcester. That is the Abby Kelly Foster Bears out of Worcester. BKHC, which is a co-op, they take on Tech Boston Academy, and BKHC is Brighton Kelly Health Careers. That's the name of the co-op. Then they have, after that, Lynn Votech taking on KIPP as well. KIP. So there you go. KIP Academy, Lynn Collegiate. So that's a Lynn matchup. Again, another match that Ron mentioned in the last hour. Plymouth South takes on Plymouth North, and that will be at Fenway. That game is at 4 p.m. Keefe Tech, they'll take on MRHS. MRHS is out of Lexington. Keefe Tech is out of Framingham. So there you go, those two teams there. SRVT takes on SSVT at 5 p.m. Central, they'll take on SBRHS, and that is a team out of Somerset. That's Somerset Berkeley. Okay, Somerset Berkeley Regional. That's what that is. And that's Central out of Providence. SRVT and SSVT, by the way, are the Southeastern Hawks and the South Shore Votech Vikings. Just want to make sure I mention that. If there's any abbreviations, I'll try to mention what they actually are as well for people who may not know, who are tuning in and may not know these abbreviations. We'll just do them. We'll just do them. Blue Hills, they'll take on BPRVT, and that is Bristol Plymouth Craftsman. And I believe that's going to be in Taunton, that matchup, by the way, as Ron mentioned as well. Bishop Fian takes on Bishop Stang. That's a huge Thanksgiving rivalry matchup. You got Gardner taking on QRHS. QRHS is Quabbin Regional Panthers. Then you have the Whittier Tech. Whittier Tech taking on GLTHS, and that is Greater Lawrence Tech. Then you got Malden Catholic taking on St. John's. Lowell Catholic, they take on GLTHS, which is Greater Lowell Tech. Then you have AWHS taking on CSHS. And I'll get you the abbreviations here. Archbishop Williams and Cardinal Spellman. I wish they just kind of spelled these names out so I didn't have to do this, but they don't on this. Let's head a little bit here. Taunton takes on Milford. Again, that's the Wednesday night game. And I believe they're in Milford this year. That's, again, 6 p.m. start, where they take on QRHS, and QRHS is Quabbog Regional Cougars. I hope I'm probably not saying that correctly. I apologize. And that's pretty much it for Wednesday. I went through most of them there. Then you have Thursday, the 27th. And I'm going to try to go over just the big ones here. Chelsea takes on East Boston, 9:30 a.m. start for that game on Thanksgiving morning. East Boston used to take on another team. I believe it was also South Boston. I believe that was the team that they took on Thanksgiving, or used to. That changed. East Boston now takes on Chelsea. Holliston, they take on Westwood. Canton takes on Stoughton. That's at 10 a.m. And all these games I'm going to mention here over here now are pretty much at 10 a.m. Most of them, at least. Pembroke takes on Silver Lake. And that's at, again, 10 a.m. Salem takes on Beverly. Now we're going to get into some of the big ones here. Uxbridge takes on Northbridge. Lynn English, they'll take on Lynn Classical. That's a big one. That rivalry has been going on for years and years and years. That's a big one in the state. Lynn English and Lynn Classical. Cohasset, they'll take on Hull. Greater New Bedford, they'll take on Diamond. Number 1 and number 2 ranked teams in all of the state. They'll face off against each other on Thanksgiving, and they'll face off against each other in the Super Bowl again. I mentioned this a week ago. I mentioned not a week ago. I mentioned this on Sunday, yesterday. Come on, Division One. Let's get some other teams in there. In all seriousness, those two teams are just amazing. That's why they always make the Super Bowl every year. Either one of these teams makes the Super Bowl every year, because of course they do. Then we have Old Rochester taking on Apponequet. Hanover takes on Norwell. Then we have Swampscott taking on Marblehead. Boston Latin takes on Boston English New Mission. That's a co-op now. It's not really Boston English versus Boston Latin. It's more like Boston English New Mission versus Boston Latin. But it's a matchup that has been a massive matchup for years upon years upon years. Dedham takes on Norwood. Andover, North Andover. Sandwich Mashpee. Then you got Bishop Fenwick taking on St. Mary's. Walpole takes on Weymouth. Seekonk, they'll take on Dighton Rehoboth Regional. The Falcons. Then you got, Haverhill taking on Lowell. Barnstable taking on Falmouth. Newton South, they'll take on Lincoln Sudbury. Rockland takes on BMHS. BMHS is Blackstone Millville Chargers out of Blackstone, Massachusetts. Drake, they'll take on Methuen. Chelmsford, they'll take on BMHS. BMHS is Bellricka Memorial. Brockton, they'll take on Bridgewater Raynham. So that'll be a big matchup as well. Marshfield will take on Duxbury. Middleboro takes on Carver. And I've mentioned this matchup. I've talked about this matchup. This matchup, I hope, will be a much more entertaining matchup than in years past. I know over years past, Middleboro has kind of dominated that matchup. But we'll see. We'll see if this matchup's a little bit more competitive this year. Both teams have the same record this year. Both teams ended the year with losing records, but might be an interesting game. We'll see what happens there. Middleboro versus Carver, and I used to go to that all the time when I was younger. Me and my father, and that was a fun matchup every year. Let's see. Continuing here, Case, they'll take on AWHS. AWHS is Atlantis Westport out of Fall River. Malden and Medford. And there are a lot of these. I'm just now kind of realizing how many Thanksgiving football games there actually is in the state. There are a ton. Ipswich, they'll be taking on HWRHS. That's Hamilton Renham out of South Hamilton. They'll be in South Hamilton for that game. Situate takes on Hingham. East Bridgewater takes on West Bridgewater. That's going to be a big matchup. That's always a big matchup. Every Thanksgiving. And I lost my place here. There we go. Skipping ahead a little bit. Milton takes on Braintree. Sharon, they'll take on Oliver Ames. And then Tri-State. Okay, that's not the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Okay. Never mind. That's the wrong one. Thought that was Tri-State for some reason. Okay. Moving on from that one. Dennis Yarmouth, they'll take on Nauset. Needham takes on Wellesley. And I keep going here. Longmeadow and East Meadow. East Longmeadow. And then we finally get to the match here that I wanted to talk about a little bit. Quincy and North Quincy. That's a big one. And Don, if you've listened to Middleboro Review, has talked about this game every year. Again, it's a big game. It's a big game. Quincy and North Quincy facing off against each other once again for another year. It should be a very entertaining matchup. Kind of similar records. Quincy is 6-4. North Quincy is 4-6 on the year. So it should be a pretty interesting matchup. Now skipping ahead a little bit here with a few more matchups. Cape Cod, they'll take on UCCRVT, and that is Upper Cape out of Bourne. So there you go. Bourne. Now we get to Bourne. Bourne takes on Wareham. Abington takes on WHRS. WHRS is Whitman Hanson. I wish it just said Whitman Hanson. I don't know why some of these have the abbreviations, but whatever. Littleton, a team that Middleboro took on in the Super Bowl back in 2017. They take on Air Shirley on Thanksgiving. Franklin takes on King Philip. And again, King Philip made it to the Super Bowl. So they might sit their starters against Franklin. So that might be an interesting game. Definitely, if you're going out to that game, if you're in that area, going out to that game, that's going to be an interesting game to watch. Foxborough takes on Mansfield, another team. Foxborough made the Super Bowl. So they might be sitting their starters. They take on Mansfield. Attleboro takes on North Attleboro Red Rockets. Oh, no, not Red Rockets. Rocketeers is the team there. There we go. And North Attleboro probably will be sitting their starters. They're in the Super Bowl. Fairhaven takes on Dartmouth. And New Bedford takes on Durfee. And that's it. That's all the matchups. Pretty much. There are obviously some I didn't mention, because if I mentioned all of them, we'd be here all day. But I mentioned most of them. We have 4 minutes left in the program. If you want to call in, talk about any of these matchups. If you're excited for any of these matchups. And I talked about most of them here on the show today. We have 3 minutes if you want to talk about it briefly. Give me a call, 508-822-1106. We'll take our one commercial break here, and we will be right back. What do you think, Ron? Was I thorough?
You were thorough.
Very thorough. I just wish Max Preps, instead of putting the abbreviations for some of these teams,
Yes, it can be difficult.
Would
but
actually
that's what they do to save space.
Yeah, they would actually put the name of the teams.
She talks about local events in Middleboro and anything events
But yeah.
in Middleboro and beyond. So Also joining Middleboro in Review with Joey Driscoll, Sunday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. only here at AM 1530 WVBF and at 99.7 FM.
I'm trying to remember East Boston. I think it was South Boston actually that they faced off against each other on Thanksgiving, and then I think it was East Boston couldn't field enough players.
Yes.
And then that Thanksgiving football matchup got canceled, and now East Boston takes on Chelsea, which is weird. But yeah.
It's safe, it's fast, and allows us to get right back to you if we have a question. Send your community announcements to WVBF 1530 at hotmail.com.
What am I going to talk about for like 2 minutes? These Thanksgiving things?
Your hometown radio station is
I'll do this.
1530 WVBF and 99.7 FM.
Actually, I'll probably just do this and then I'm done. Okay. And we're back. They turned down the bumper music. 11:58 a.m. Hope everyone enjoyed today's program. We broke down pretty much all the Thanksgiving football action you're going to see this week. When it comes to NFL, college football, and as well, pretty much all the action you're going to see this week, regardless of it, if it's Thanksgiving or not, for NFL and college football. And then we went over the Wednesday games for Massachusetts high school football for the Thanksgiving week as well, and also the Thanksgiving Day games as well. All right, to end the show today, real quick, I wanted to mention this as well. There'll be a Thanksgiving dinner at the Mulcahy School, 28 Clifford Street in Taunton, Thursday, November 27th. Available to all regardless of age. Turkey dinner with all the fixings. And that is sponsored by the Coraline Cronin Family, Inc. Pickup is preferred, but delivery is available. No on-site dining. Pickup from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. For home delivery, please call by 1:30 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Age 65 and over. In Taunton, Council on Aging, 508-821-1425. In Raynham, Council on Aging, 508-824-2740. Under 65, please call 774-384-8184. And there you go. Thanksgiving is this week. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. I'll be back on the air on Friday morning, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. with the Friday edition, the Black Friday edition of Hometown Talk. We'll be talking with Paul Lazarovich during the second hour of the program as well. And we have some great guests in the pipeline as well for the Friday show over the next couple of weeks. Eric will be back the following Friday as well. And we'll be talking all things sports. So stay tuned. I'll be back on Friday with another edition of Hometown Talk. Until then, have a great week, everybody, and have a great Thanksgiving.
We are AM 1530, WVBF, Middleboro, Taunton, and W259DD, Middleboro Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
Okay, so we can flip that over. Be done with that. Jeez. Why does it do that?
What?
When I flip it over and go to the on the air button, it doesn't.
Hold on.
does it all the time. And then I think there's the delay, and then it happens. Anyway, bye everybody.